Hi, this is Rabbi Jeremy Lawrence from the Great Synagogue in Sydney. We're a couple of weeks into the counting of the Omer, the 7-week interval between Pesach and Shavuot. The Omer itself is a measurement of about 2.5 kilos. In the biblical era, this season coincided with the completion of the barley harvest around Pesach time. Until an Omer of barley had been offered up in the temple, none of the new season's harvest was allowed to be consumed. The Torah tells us to count 7 complete weeks until the festival. Consequently, in our count from Pesach, we enumerate day 1 through day 49, but we also count off the weeks. So this Friday will commence the 18th day of the Omer, making 2 weeks and 4 days. Today we consider this period a sad one and impose a series of symbols of mourning. No weddings, not buying new clothes, not listening to live joyous music or dance, not cutting our hair, etc. Traditionally, the mourning is a commemoration of the deaths of 24,000 of Rabbi Akiva's students in a plague which abated on Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day. According to the Talmud, they were punished for not dealing with each other with enough respect. Historians note that Rabbi Akiva and his students were prominent in the rebellion against Roman rule, so it is possible that the Talmud's plague is a euphemism for the casualties in the revolt against the Romans. Be that as it may, the Talmud is not slow to make many direct references to the arrogant and disrespectful conduct between communities' elders and leaders, and it ascribes the destruction of the temple and the loss of sovereignty to a decline in civil social standards. The irony should not be lost. The Omer season is the interval between our liberation from slavery in Egypt and our coming to Mount Sinai to receive the Torah. During those miraculous, exciting 49 days, the sea was split, we defeated the Amalekites, made bitter waters sweet, and tasted our first manna. These should be 7 weeks of jubilation as we celebrate the inaugural steps to nationhood. Instead, we remember and enumerate the days in sorrow and reflect upon the tragedies that have befallen us since the loss of that sovereignty and through our lack of mutual respect. This week, we're celebrating the 65th anniversary of Israel's independence. It is a wonder that we've seen a language and a nation revived from near extinction and extermination. There have been 65 remarkable years of survival against harsh odds and of accomplishment in almost every field of endeavor. It is possibly to be expected that Israel is a center of learning, spiritual and secular, Talmudic and technological. These are areas where we've always excelled. Likewise, law, medicine, and ethics. Our great-grandparents would never have expected, though, that Israel would be reckoned for its military might, have Olympic medalists, international music and sporting celebrities, a film industry, or that the Israeli shekel would become an internationally traded currency. Perhaps one day we'll even buy and sell grain by the Omer again. We do have a great deal to celebrate, and yet, if ever there was a threat to our stability and our standing, it is not the multitude of enemies anxious to push us back into the sea, who deny our claims to our land, and who even deny the horrors that we've endured. Though for sure, those enemies are there. If ever there was a threat, it is our own internal fragmentation, the schisms which divide us, and the acrimony with which we pursue them. Both in Israel and in the diaspora, we see leaders and scholars lacking in civility, and even to our shame, in integrity. Religious and secular, left and right, hawk and dove against each other and between themselves. The tragic upshot, each wishes a plague upon the other's houses. We could ignore the lessons of history and see them repeated. Better, though, we should be careful to count the Omer. If we reflect upon the Omer's origins as a time of joy and its observance as a time of distress, we might fulfill the Talmud's injunction to turn ourselves towards greater Ahavat Yisrael, love for each other, our people as well as our land, and commitment to the amicable resolution of our differences. It's in our hands to make this historic era one of renewed redemption and the fulfillment of our promised destiny. Am Yisrael Chai. This is Rabbi Jeremy Lawrence from the Great Synagogue in Sydney, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom and a Chag Atzmaut Sameach.